The biggest challenge I have with new clients is getting them focused. I think the biggest cardinal sin in real estate lead generation is people are trying to do way too many things and they end up sucking at all of them. So the biggest piece of advice I want to give in this video, even though I'm going to go over 10 viable ways to generate leads in this video as a real estate agent, these are all methods I believe in and I think you can actually make work. I want to be very clear about something. If you're the type of agent that just jumps at every new opportunity and every new shiny object, what's going to happen is you're going to get really distracted, you're going to get really stressed out, you're going to feel really overwhelmed, and you're not actually going to be that good at any one of the things that you're doing. So this is the biggest mistake I see with new clients, and one of the things I always work towards is helping them get focused at my company Agent Launch, where we help people generally focus on Google and YouTube lead generation. So if you are interested in that, go to our website and you can apply to work with us. Now, I'm going to talk about, like I said, 10 in this video of how you can effectively generate leads, but I just want to be very clear. You need to have a season of no, and you need to start saying no to things, because what happens in this industry is everyone's trying to sell you their version of lead generation. Now, a lot of people are just repackaging up the same thing and making it sound different and selling it to you so you think it's new, when really it's just the same old stuff people have been doing for a long time. There's so many different ways to generate leads in real estate. You have to choose ones that you're excited about and that feel right to you and that you believe in, and get really, really focused on those. Because I have clients who do over 100 deals a year from Google Ads. I just brought on a client who did 45 deals last year just from YouTube. He only takes YouTube leads because they're the best leads, and all he does is make YouTube videos and work with people that generate from his channel. So I know a guy who does 50 plus deals a year from TikTok. The thing I'm trying to say is, even though I'm going to walk through these 10 different types of lead generations and I'm going to bucket them up for you so you understand them, it's really important that you choose one and you get really good at it. Because if you choose 3 or 4, you're going to get beat at every one of those 3 or 4 by the guy or girl who's doing just the one of them. So you're never going to be the best YouTuber or Facebook group person or Instagram or TikTok person or whatever if you're doing all these other things. It's just not going to happen. I started with YouTube. I got really good at YouTube. That carried me forward, where only now I'm starting to branch out into other stuff. YouTube has fed the farm for quite a long time, and I just decided to get really good at YouTube. Why? Because I like YouTube. The next thing I'm getting big on is Twitter. So follow me on Twitter. Go down in the description below. Give me a follow on Twitter. Support that starting of my growth there. Make sure you check me out. I'm gonna be posting a lot of this stuff that I do on YouTube, on Twitter as well. So that'll be a good place to keep tabs on what we're up to. But without further ado, guys, let's get into this video because I'm really excited to share some of this stuff with you. So I'm gonna start with the 2 that I love the most. Now, the first place you can generate leads is obviously Google. Now, Google is something I've become really known for. Now, there's a variety of ways you can generate leads from Google. The first is through Google Ads. Now, that's what we focus on at Agent Launch, setting up targeted Google Ads that can basically target people who are searching for specific keywords on Google with ads. Now, generally speaking, especially in the United States, Zillow and Realtor get all the SEO rankings for most searches. Now, if you want to work on SEO, which is the second way you can generate leads from Google, I just want to break down the difference between the two. So Google Ads, also known as pay-per-click or PPC, is when you just pay Google money to get to the very top of the search result a certain number of times, and then you pay every time someone clicks on your ad. The cost of how that works is very technical, so I'm not going to get into that. That's what we focus on Agent Launch, because you don't need to do a lot of work over an extended period of time to get to the top of the search result like you would with SEO. You can just pay to be there and you can get a consistent result from that. So the most simple example, if I said condos for sale in downtown Seattle, I could put an ad at the top of Google for people who search that saying view all condos for sale in downtown Seattle. That leads to my website and hopefully they sign up. Usually 10% of that traffic or so will sign up into a lead, and then we focus on the sales systems thereafter. SEO is where you're trying to optimize your website organically in the Google search. So this is like writing blogs, writing website content, using meta tags and all these other technical things that go into SEO. But the thing with real estate is SEO is a very technical and difficult thing to execute because it takes usually years, and your competitors are like Realtor.com, Zillow, all these big companies who that's their entire business model. They have all the resources in the world to invest in this stuff. Frankly, it's kind of unfair. I think Google should be a little less biased in this sense because they just rank for everything, and it's kind of dumb, honestly. Like, it doesn't really give everyone a fair shake. But the other thing is, even if you do get ahead of Realtor and Zillow, you still have a million plus other agents to compete with. So SEO is a tough game, and if you're gonna do it, you have to work with a professional. You have to do it long term because it can work really well. It can work really well if you do it for the long term. But if you don't commit to it and it's just one of those 5 other things you end up doing, you're just never gonna win at it. So don't even bother. I recommend most people don't even touch SEO unless you're gonna get really committed to it and specific with it over the years and you learn to understand it. You don't just hire a company and say, this company is going to do that thing when you don't even know what they're doing because you don't even know if they're doing a good job. So if you're going to do SEO, you better understand how it works. Now, the other way you can generate leads is through Google local service ads. So this is another type of Google ad where you can actually get into the search when people search like realtors in Seattle, agents in Seattle. What it does is it uses your Google My Business, and it actually runs an ad for Google My Business in like the recommended agents section. And you can only get into this if you have a certain number of reviews and you're basically verified and qualified to actually be in that position. It's something that was like the shiny object of 2021. So it got really saturated really fast, and it's kind of a pay-per lead model where Google only charges you when you actually get a lead. So it's worth doing if you have a lot of Google reviews. If you don't have a lot of Google reviews, nobody's ever going to choose you over the people that have a ton of Google reviews. So I wouldn't really recommend it. I just focus on getting Google reviews and working on building that up. So that's another way you can generate leads with Google, is through local service ads. The other ways with Google are Google My Business, which I just mentioned, which is your Google My Business listing. Obviously, you want to make sure you're collecting a lot of reviews and testimonials, and that can generate you some leads sometimes. Usually it's just used as social proof. It's not like a lead generation tool really, unless you run local service ads. It's more for when people search Eric B. Preston or they search agent launch, like what do they see? They should see 5 yellow stars. So make sure that whatever people search, they see something good. And that starts with maybe your Zillow profile, Google My Business, all the different review platforms on the internet. So that's Google. The second way to generate leads is YouTube. Now, this is where you're probably watching this video, and it's one of my favorite places because video is one of the only ways you can build trust with people that isn't by being in front of them or on the phone with them, in my perspective. Content is huge. Video content is the best. I believe YouTube is the golden child of today's marketing and real estate. I really do think that people overlook it and they don't put a lot of energy into it. They think it's harder than it is. And the truth is you just need a good mentor, because YouTube has so many benefits. Like when you make a YouTube video, it lasts years. You have a link, you can just link to it. People are used to receiving links to YouTube videos. People are not used to receiving links to Instagram videos. Instagram videos usually last a day or two. YouTube videos usually last a year or two. And so the investment of time in a YouTube video or learning YouTube might be a little higher, but the net return is so much more, because once you consistently make a YouTube video a week for a year, you have 52 videos, some of them are ranking, those videos keep working for you, and you can kind of just like take your foot off the gas if you want, and you'll keep generating leads over and over and over again from videos you created months and months and months ago. Whereas social media, you don't really get that. If you stop posting on social media, people just think you disappeared. So I don't really resonate with those other platforms. I like YouTube and Twitter these days because they're more like Twitter's more updates and news, and YouTube's more education and long form topics. Like I really like that. Instagram to me is just like shirtless photos of people basically. Like, I don't know. I just don't really resonate with the whole like, look at me on Instagram, look at my new car, blah, blah, blah. Like that's just not really me. That's why I don't put a lot of energy in those platforms, because honestly, they don't feel genuine to me. They feel kind of fake, and I don't like that. YouTube feels real. I think YouTube is my favorite platform. I really believe in it. I think the future of YouTube is amazing. It's about to surpass Facebook as the biggest social media platform in the world. YouTube TV is just starting. Like you look at like the kids these days, they're all watching YouTube. So that's a good sign of where things are going. So pay attention to the trends and the signs of where people are going and where a lot of people aren't. Everyone's doing Instagram, but I know very few people who actually can tell me, they can't look at me in the eye and say, I got so many deals from Instagram last year. It doesn't really happen. They're just doing it because some mentor that doesn't really know what they're talking about, like every internet guru in real estate basically says like, well, you gotta be on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and YouTube and this and that and the other thing. By the time I'm done, spun around in a 360 because you're doing so many things and you're just distracted, overwhelmed, and you don't really have a direction at all. That being said, I think it's really important to get focused, okay? Another thing you can do in YouTube is YouTube ads. A lot of people don't know this, but YouTube ads are Google ads. They live in the same ad account. You just select a video campaign. I spent several hundred thousands of dollars last year on YouTube ads, so I do know a thing or two about how they work. Not gonna get into the technical components of it, but I do think YouTube ads are a very like sexy thing right now, but most people don't understand them, and a lot of the gurus that are teaching them on YouTube in real estate are kind of teaching them in how you'd use them in the context of being a real estate coach or having a course or a program, which isn't really relevant to realtors. Like I find a lot of people want to do YouTube ads and they don't really know why, and the why is really important. Like you don't just run a YouTube ad, like to what? What does your YouTube ad say? What is your offer? What is your landing page? What does your funnel look like? Like you have to have a highly scripted ad. It has to be really dialed in. Like watch some of my YouTube ads. Some of you might have seen them. They gotta be super good at it. You have 5 seconds to grab people's attention and you gotta hook them in. People always tell me, they're like, dude, I never watch YouTube ads, but for whatever reason, yours just hooked me in. Yeah, because like I planned that a lot. So you have to have a really strong like video. It has to be a really great edit, but you have to have a specific offer. Like that's what people miss. Is like you don't just run an ad and say, hey, I'm Eric, the realtor, work with me. That's not how this stuff works. And unfortunately, there's a lot of people on YouTube who will tell you that. And then you go do it and you fail and you're following guys who are teaching you how to do 20 different things and you're just losing it all. It's kind of sad, to be honest, and I'm sure you can see it in my voice, but like I get frustrated by this stuff because there's a lot of, I think, misguidance out there. Now, YouTube ads are great. I'll give you a little secret. Agent Launch is moving into the YouTube ad space very soon, but it's going to be a very specific formula on how we make it work. Something I've done a lot of. And so I feel really good and excited about that. But at the same time, YouTube ads are only as good as the funnel that they're leading to. And so you need to work on both. Like the offer is just as important as the actual ad. And so that's all I'll say about YouTube, but I love YouTube and we're gonna be doubling down on YouTube for Agent Launch, for our clients, doubling down on video marketing. That's where I think things are going. Now, let's talk about the old dog in the room, Facebook, which is number 3. Facebook is still the biggest platform in the world as far as social media, believe it or not. A lot of countries in the world that are maybe a little less behind the trends as North America still use Facebook en masse. People still use Facebook groups. There's a few ways you can use Facebook to generate leads. One is just by posting, right? Like posting content that starts conversations. You can post interesting things, people will engage with them, engagement delivers more reach, and more people see your content. That's one way to get exposure. Second way to get exposure, you can post your listings in Facebook Marketplace. Some people will reach out to you to schedule showings and things like that because they'll just see the house in Marketplace and it can get you some free exposure. The third way is Facebook groups. But again, I don't think this is worth doing unless it's something you're like really sure you want to do. Because I have a Facebook group. I don't even see that much from that group. We just use it to support people. So if you want to join my Facebook group, it's called High Volume Real Estate Sales Secrets. We have about 4,200 members in there right now. So it's a pretty active group, but like I don't actually see a lot of business from that. And I'll be very honest about that. So like you can have a Facebook group, and I know real estate agents who have Facebook groups who do 20 plus deals a year. But again, they're just focused on the group. They made the group so good that people use it. It's like a community group around their area. If you want to do Facebook groups, you got to commit to it because it's not easy to maintain a Facebook group on the long term. Facebook posting, Facebook groups, Facebook Marketplace. You can add people as friends on Facebook. There's a lot of different ways you can generate leads. Kind of an old school way to do things now, Facebook, in my opinion, not really where the world's going. It's kind of where the world was. The middle ground to that is, which is the fourth type of lead generation, is Instagram. Now, Instagram works best if you just take shirtless photos of yourself, or you can kind of showcase your life, document the journey, that kind of thing. But if I'm being very honest with you, taking shirtless photos of yourself is the best way to grow on Instagram. So let's move on. You all know about Instagram. I don't even want to talk about it because I don't like Instagram. I think it's a stupid platform. So the next one is TikTok, which is even more stupid, which is the same type of idea as Instagram, but amplified for youth. So stupid videos and silly stuff and whatever. TikTok, we all know what TikTok's about. Would I invest in it? Maybe. It's one of those new things that you can get a lot of growth really fast. I do know a guy who did 50 deals a year from TikTok, but these are the kind of stories you hear, right? I tell you this story, you might have heard this story from someone else. I heard this guy did 50 deals from TikTok, and everyone's like, ooh, I gotta do TikTok too. No, like you don't have to do TikTok. Unless you're like a young, comfortable in front of camera, wanting to make TikTok videos that are really like attention grabby, like really hooky, like you have barely any time to actually hook people in, and that's not easy to do. So if you really want to be that type of content creator, then go do TikTok, but approach it with caution because you're probably not going to get anywhere with it. If I was talking about statistics, and if you do, great. If it works for you, it works for you. I know some younger guys that are doing TikTok, they're doing really well, but like you got to be ready for that. So I wouldn't recommend TikTok to most people. But anyways, those are kind of all your online sources for the most part. There's obviously more. You can get leads from Zillow and Realtor. I don't want to talk about that though. The next piece is asking for referrals. Now, regardless of what lead generation you do, you need to be able to ask for referrals in the right way. So I'm gonna link a video up here that will actually link you to a scripting video I did, where I actually have a really good referral script in there of how to ask for referrals. So regardless of whatever lead generation source you do, I would highly recommend you learn how to ask for referrals first, because asking for referrals is one of the most important things you'll do with any lead generation source to make it multiplicatable. that even a word? Multiplicatable? Anyways, if you want your lead generation to multiply, you need to have actual referrals. That's the only thing that's quadratic. One person refers you someone, they refer you two people, those two people refer you some person, et cetera, et cetera. The seventh way you can generate leads is physical marketing. This is putting your marketing in different places in the physical world. So you could do this on a car, you could do this on a bus bench, on a billboard, like whatever it is. But the one thing I'm gonna say about this is you need to have a unique offer if you wanna do this. If you just put up a billboard to your face with your brokerage and say, I am a great realtor, you're so lame. Just don't do that. I'll give you some examples. Let's say you have a truck and you put on the truck, buy with us and use this truck free to move, right? Maybe you put up a billboard. Do you have an original condition home? Call us. Have an offer. If you're gonna do physical marketing, don't just be the old school realtor who puts their photoshopped face on a bus bench. That is so lame and you should retire if that's your strategy. Sorry guys, I'm a little jaded about this stuff, but basically have an offer. Whatever your offer is, like Craig Proctor's offer is probably the most well-known. Your home sold guaranteed or we'll buy it. Pretty good offer. It's worked for years, keeps working. Have that on your truck. Have that on your bus bench. Have that on your billboard. Have your own unique offer. That's something like that. Give people a reason to reach out to you. Don't just say, I'm a realtor, here's my phone number. That's boring. Eighth, 3, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, I only have 9. Eighth way is partnerships. So you can generate leads through partnerships. Have a partnership with your lender. It's a good one. You guys can invest in some lead generation together, have a partnership with them. When they get business, they send it to you. When you get business, you send it to them. You're going back and forth, generating leads for each other. Great working relationship. Partnerships can take place in many different forms. You can partner with different organizations, different communities, whatever. Give them some benefit for referring people to you, right? Maybe you sponsor a team and they send you business, you give them money, everyone wins. The last piece is networking. So networking can come in many shapes or sizes. And the basic idea is you potentially take your kids to, I'm Canadian, so I'll say hockey, and you just network with other parents. Pretty cool way to network. Maybe you're in some cultural communities. Maybe you're in some games communities, like could be sports, could be a book club, could be whatever. Network with people, get yourself in rooms with other people who have similar interests. And the fact that you're a real estate agent is just going to come up. Just don't push it on everyone. And so there's a lot of ways you can do this, but these are my 9 ways you can generate leads for real estate. I hope I didn't come off too jaded. I'm sure I did, but if you guys want to work with Agent Launch, I'm going to help you get really focused on the things that are going to matter most. I don't take on people and allow them to get distracted. That's not my style. So either way, thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll see you in the next one.